program are those of the commenters alone. They do not represent the views or opinions of Valley News Live, our parent company, or our advertisers.
Welcome back. With me tonight in the Hot Box, Robin Nelson. She's the MC for tonight's events Stand Up for Women rally here in Fargo. Robin, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So Stand Up for Women rally in North Dakota, what are you standing up for specifically?
We are standing up for women's productive rights. There's some items going on in the North Dakota legislature that we're not all too happy about. And so this started really as a grassroots effort and has snowballed from there.
So from reproductive rights, I got to presume, though, are you in favor of any of these life bills that are being passed through the House or the Senate?
Well, you know, to certain degrees, but I think that any approval of any of these bills is starting to chip away at women's rights, and not just women's rights reproductively, but also relationships with their doctors, relationship with their God, relationships with their families, and so it's really crossing the line.
So let me ask you this, because what you're saying to me seems very hypocritical from the standpoint that one of these bills that's been passed is basically you can't abort a child based on gender.
Right.
Isn't that stand up for women? If I'm saying, hey, we're going to protect the fact, because you and I both know most abortions based on gender are obviously going to kill the female.
You know, is that really an issue in North Dakota, Chris?
Nobody knows.
I don't think, I'm quite sure it's not.
So isn't it good, though, to be preemptive?
That would be one way to look at it. These are really tactical measures that are coming from national organizations that are starting to slowly chip into our rights. It's just the first step. It's a very slippery slope. So where do you draw the line? This is not a black and white issue. And so we need to figure out all the ramifications. There's so many ripple effects that come with these bills. It's so much more complicated than simply saying, don't kill baby girls. Of course, nobody is pro-abortion. I don't know anybody who is. But where does this belong? It does not belong in our state legislature.
Wait, you're saying you don't know anybody who's pro-abortion?
I can't imagine anybody who would be pro-aborting a baby. There has to be other things to look at. I am stay out of my business government. I'm pro-life. I can't imagine anybody who would be supportive to put a woman in a situation where she would abort a baby on purpose. Absolutely not.
All right, so let's go back to you said the doctor-patient relationship. So I'm presuming if you're going out and saying, hey, you know what, we don't want to put people in between the doctor-patient relationship, obviously then you're against the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare, correct?
I am.
Okay, so how does that fit in, or what makes any difference between the Independent Payment Advisory Board, which clearly is going to impact on the patient-doctor relationship? Why aren't a lot of the lefties, which I know you're not, but left, going out and saying, hey, wait a second, we're for this, what you're doing, but we're also for Obamacare and the independent payment? It doesn't make any sense to me.
You know, I can't speak for the left. Again, my whole take is stay out of my doctor's office, and Obamacare interferes with that for me, as does this legislation. So just stay out of my doctor's office. It's none of your damn business.
That is a good point. I guess from staying out of the doctor's office, you're saying, hey, you know what, as long as they stay out of the doctor's office, then you're okay with most of this stuff. Just to get...
Yeah, well, to a certain extent, yes. I don't want to make a blanket statement, yes.
Anything else you want to say about the rally or what's going to be happening?
The rally is taking on a life of its own. It started as a very small grassroots effort, and we are, through Facebook, you know how much credit to give that, but we have about 1,200 people attending already. So the likes have more than doubled since last Friday, since some of that legislation went through. So we're watching it closely. It will be a peaceful rally, and there are a lot of upset women and men and children and doctors. It's a very personal issue, and that's where it belongs.
As you know, many of these bills hit the governor's desk today. You said this is a grassroots scenario. I'm sure you're talking to a lot of different people in this movement. Do you think Governor Dalrymple signs these bills or vetoes them?
You know, I don't think anybody is going to try to guess what he does, but I would encourage him to take a stand, one way or the other. Of course, I would prefer that he vetoes them, but I would be very disappointed in my governor if he didn't take a stand. And he's a strong man, and I've met him several times. And I have faith in his judgment and to do the right thing for the state, not just parochial interests.
All right, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Stay with us when we come back. Joel Heitkamp from News and Views and I will discuss some of this sort of, and also the flood meeting that took place today in Fargo. As always, we appreciate your feedback. Go to our website, 630pov.com. We'll be right back.